Hello and welcome to the new. I'm your co-host, Diana Dove.
And I'm your co-host, Mocha.
And we wanted to start off today with circling back to the police officer who basically spoke out about the police shooting in Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And it was Nakia Jones. She was a police officer who posted a video on Facebook basically just giving her truth and her opinions on the shooting that took place of a man in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, who got the police was actually called on him because he was selling CDs out of his trunk, even though he did get permission from the store owner that it was okay for him to do that. A homeless man still called the police on him because he was selling CDs out of his trunk. And as the video showed, the police officer eventually shot him while he was on the ground. So Nakia Jones actually spoke out about that, and she's also a police officer, and she was just basically saying that if you are racist, no matter what color you are, but if you are racist toward any race, that you should not put on the uniform, and that you really shouldn't police in that area specifically that you're racist about.
Exactly. And since her video and her Facebook went viral, and she's received a lot of, I guess, congratulations for speaking out on that. And she's also received some people who were not so favorable to her doing a video like that. Some of them were on the police department, and they did not, I guess, take kindly to her making a video, basically just expressing her personal opinion about the situation. And allegedly, she has been suspended from the police force, and so now she's come out with another video, I guess a public video about her being allegedly suspended.
Yeah, and I know that the video was mainly the media interviewing her, and many times they would ask her specific questions about, was she suspended and things like that, and she wouldn't comment on it. So I know it's allegedly she was suspended, but it seems like she was for her comments because that's something that she would not speak on during the interview with the media. And it was interesting when I looked at the video, the number of likes and the number of dislikes. And I think that really goes to her credibility and who she is as a person, and that she was telling her truth and the truth of so many people. And so the likes, when I looked at it, it was over 1,000 likes, and then dislikes, it was only 95.
Yeah.
So I think that, well, one, that truth was more than just her truth. It's a lot of people's truth in the way that they feel about the situations and the shootings that have been going on concerning people as well as police officers. And another thing too, I think that showed to her credibility as far as being credible was that she had mentioned in the interview that someone that she even arrested put on her Facebook page that she arrested me, and even though she arrested me, I was in the wrong. That's what the person said. I was in the wrong, and she was very fair. So that just goes to show just an example of the type of person that she is and the type of character that she has, and that she isn't out to be she's not out to bash anybody or talk down about anybody. She was simply telling the truth about the situation that took place with the shootings, how she felt about it, and really just telling her fellow officers that if you are racist in any way, that you need to take that uniform off. If you're afraid of policing a certain community, whether it's white, black, Hispanic, Asian, no matter what the race is, you need to go ahead and take that uniform off.
Exactly. Now, with that being said, it's basically she gave her personal opinion about the matter. So I'm guessing that the police department, well, I can kind of see where they are not allowed to make public announcements about their own personal opinions. I'm assuming they should be like neutral on it because I guess now that we see what's going on with some of the comments that she's made, and some of the people who are in favor of what she said and some people who are not favor of what she said. So I guess the police department's stance is they want them to remain neutral so that, they won't have, any backlash on any comments that any police officers make, even though it is her personal opinion. And she's not saying that this has to be done or this should be done. This is just what I feel should be done. Which, and in my opinion, I think what she said is true. I mean, if you know for a fact that you don't like a particular race, or a particular gender or something of a person, that you should not put yourself in that situation as a profession that you have to deal with those particular people. Like she said, like Ms. Jones said, there's other professions for you to go into if you already know that you feel a certain way about particular people. So I agree with what she said in that regards. So what do you think about what she said? Do you agree that she?
Yeah, I mean, I agree too. And like she was saying, it goes for anybody, no matter what your background is, no matter what race you are. If someone is African American and they're racist towards Caucasian people, then they probably shouldn't be a police officer, let alone police in a mostly Caucasian area. And I think that just makes sense. I think that's logical sense. And there's other industries where if I don't like to see blood, right? A lot of people don't like to see blood. Then you probably shouldn't be a doctor, right? That's not a field that you would go into. So I think she was really just stating the obvious and just, she didn't want to have a national platform. She stated that. She said she didn't want to have media coverage. She's actually someone who kind of stays more so to herself in that. But when she saw that video, she was outraged because of the fact that she has sons. And one of her sons will be going to college soon. And one of them actually wants to go to school in Louisiana. So I can completely understand how seeing that video and you're basically putting your son in the place of the person who got shot because they look similar. They're from a similar background. So I can completely understand why she did speak out. She did make it clear that was her personal opinion, that people may not agree with it. And we live in America, so there is definitely a freedom of speech. But I also know that there is a thin line when it comes to speaking out about your organization that you represent. So in my opinion, I think she did it tastefully. I don't think she bashed anybody. I don't think she talked down about anybody. I think that she was equal on both sides as just a regular person in the community, but also a police officer as well. And I think she had a very valid view because she's on both sides of the spectrum. She is an African American woman that has sons that are African American, and then she's also a police officer. And so she also has to deal with the comments of people saying that they don't like the police and why they don't like the police. So I think her opinion was very valid, and I'm glad she spoke out about it, because many times when your peers don't hold you accountable to things, you feel like it's fine. And people continue to do things until their peers that are in the same organization as them says something. And I know that she just really wanted to start the conversation that obviously it'll take time for things to evolve and move forward, but she just wanted to start the conversation, have various communities come together where you hear opinions from different people and respect their opinions and just try to move forward as a community and then also as a country.
Just going back to what you said, now with her being both a police officer, African American police officer, and also being a mother, I know she did also mention in her interview that she also has to have the conversation with her sons of what they should do when they're pulled over by the police, even though she is a police officer, but she still has to have that conversation with her sons on what they should do when they're pulled over by the police, because they're African American men as well. And so I'm sure they're now well versed on what they should do and what they should not do, um, as to, what happens when they're pulled over by the police. So with that being said, um, she has, like I said, she has to be on both sides. She has to put herself on both sides as a police officer and also as a mother, because she can't be with her sons 24 hours a day. So she can, put into them, what you need to do, what you don't need to do when you're pulled over by the police officers, and just hope that is enough to get them home at night. And so that's why in her original video, she was so impassioned about that. She was almost broken down to tears, almost down to tears, because, you know, she has to see so many of our kids who are gunned down in the street, and she's there to have to tell the parents where your son won't be coming home tonight, your son or your
Right.
daughter won't be coming home tonight. So she has to feel for that parent because she is a mother, and also she still has to be professional because that is her profession. So that puts her like in a very, kind of strange place. But like we said, that is her own personal opinion, which every American should be allowed to give. But I guess sometimes when in certain professions, as in with any job, sometimes what you do outside the job reflects back to what that job is. And
Right.
sometimes some companies have certain stipulations as to what you're allowed to say and what you are not allowed to say. So I guess that's where she is now.
Right. And I know too, the media asked her thoughts on all of the shootings. Like, do you think the police were in the right? Do you think they were in the wrong? And I think that she had a very fair statement by
Yes.
saying that she judges each situation separately
Right.
because each situation is different. So I think that that was also a very fair statement that she made.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Well, we are going to take a very quick break. Definitely stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
We'll be back.
Welcome back to the new. I'm your co-host, Diana Dove.
And I'm your co-host, Mocha.
And so another topic that we wanted to circle back on was the Keisha Knight, Pulliam Hartwell, and Ed Hartwell story. And so it seems like the story has continued through this week as well. And this time I know Ed Hartwell's ex-wife, Lisa Wu, who was on the Atlanta Housewives. She was on the first season, and then she's currently on Hollywood Divas.
Yes.
And so I know she made some comments on Hollywood Divas as well as Instagram, just concerning Keisha and how she says that she doesn't want to be in the limelight as far as this situation or want to have drama in the limelight, but she continued to discuss it on her show that she has. So I know that Lisa Wu had posted that on Instagram, and then currently it was taken down, but it was posted on Instagram. So the conversation definitely continues around Keisha and Ed and the divorce that they're going through, public divorce that they're going through.
And I know years ago, Keisha also dated DJ Big Tigger, who's also a DJ on radio station V103 here in Atlanta. They dated for several years. And they said after she broke up, well, they dated for years, but they never got engaged or anything like that. And there was never a baby that came from that relationship. And we know that Keisha really wants to become a mother. And now the rumor is that Big Tigger may be the father of her kid, of her
Oh,
child,
wow.
allegedly.
Wow.
So Big Tigger made an announcement on his show on V103 that, he all props to Keisha and her husband and congratulations on the baby. But I am not the father of said child, of her pending baby girl. So it's like people, if they now that Ed has come out and said that he's may not be the father, now people are going back, I guess, trying to find out all the guys that she dated who could be the father.
Oh, wow.
So Tigger, I mean, the interview that he did was very nice. He didn't say anything rude or off color, and he just pretty much said that he feels for Keisha.
Oh, absolutely.
Because her husband has now left her, and she's pregnant with a child. So a lot of guys I know have said over the last week that, what type of man leaves his wife while she's pregnant? They have not had any tests done yet on the baby to find out whose child it really is. So, they feel that he should at least wait until the test is done when the baby is born. Or I think like when you get so far in the pregnancy, they can still do a test, some tests they can do to find out, the DNA or the paternity of the baby. But obviously those tests have not been done yet. And he's saying that he's not the father, but people are already trying to speculate on who the father could be.
Oh,
so,
wow. And the thing is, Keisha doesn't have that type of reputation.
Yes.
So I think people are just putting drama out there just to have something to talk about and just to put drama out there, because she doesn't even have that type of reputation at all. And so I do think that it's really good that Tigger did go on the air just to clear up that rumor that was going on, and to, give congratulations, a sincere congratulations to Keisha and Ed. So I think that was definitely big and great on his part.
I do too. So word up to Big Tigger. That was big of him to do that, because he could have just not said anything at all and just let the rumors
fly
land
around
where they may.
Exactly.
And just said whatever. I'm not in this. But he came out. He made a statement about it, and like I said, the statement was very favorable on his part.
That's good.
And he didn't say anything rude or anything about it. So like I said again, word up to him. But now everybody's going around trying to figure out who the baby daddy is.
Yeah, that's crazy. One, it's someone's personal business, and Keisha is not, she keeps her personal life very private. This is really the first time where she's been in the public eye with so-called drama around it. And so she really tries to keep her personal life out of the limelight, which I think is good. I definitely don't blame her, because we see that people will try to attach you to people who have nothing to do with this situation at all.
And Big Tigger said he has not even talked to her or seen her in years. He said,
wow.
So I don't know how that baby came to be. We haven't even seen each other.
Right. Well, I'm very glad that he cleared that up, because a lot of people, men and women, would, like you said, just let the rumors just kind of go and let the chips fall where they fall and allow people to think what they want to think. So that was very big of him to come on the show, not bash her or Ed at all, and just congratulate them and just clear that rumor up once and for all, to keep his name out of the media's mouth. So I think that was very good.
Exactly. Keisha also has a podcast called Candidly Keisha. I've only listened to it, maybe one time. I know she did a recent podcast on her show after she did the interview on Entertainment Tonight. And she basically said, well, I've had a very rough week, and I just kind of wanted to, talk about some things from the interview Entertainment Tonight, about the ongoings from this week. So she just kind of did an update on that. And that's pretty much, all she had to say about it. But, like she said, the show must go on. She has to continue doing the show. She can't just shut the show down since all of this is going on. And I'm just interested to see where everything is going to go from now, as far as, what's going to happen, if she and Ed going to get back together, or what's going to happen with them.
Yeah, and I can understand her going to her show after she went to ET Entertainment Tonight and did the interview, because she probably may have looked at the video and realized, or just thought that she may not have expressed everything that she wanted to express in that one interview. And of course, interviews are only so long, so she went ahead and took it to her own show, which makes perfect sense, to go ahead and get whatever else she may have had on her mind and on her heart out. And I think that that's natural for people to do, similar to social media. So social media many times is an outlet for people just to tell others of their thoughts, what they're feeling, their opinions. Is truly an outlet for them. And so I think that this last show for her, or the show that she did right after she did Entertainment Tonight, was an outlet for her, which many times can be very kind of like a counselor or soothing to people who may be going through stressful situations. So I can understand why she did that.
Yeah. I mean, but in some instances, now it's like people take to social media for everything. It's like if you and I have an argument, instead of me calling you on the phone and say, Diana, we need to talk about what happened yesterday, I get on social media.
Oh, you going?
And I just
you going
start
straight to Twitter?
You go straight to Twitter. Straight to Facebook, and I just start slamming you. Diana did this, she did that, and I'm basically reaching out to you through social media instead of calling you and telling you what's going on. So now everybody in America knows what's going on with the two of us, when it should only be just the two of us. So now everybody's taking all of their problems and their woes or whatever straight to social media. And sometimes we wouldn't even know what's going on with this, if your husband cheated, if your husband cheats, instead of you talking to your husband or going to your attorney, they go right to Facebook or right to Twitter and say, oh, you a dirty so-and-so, you this and you that and you this and you that. So now we all know about Keisha and the possibility that she cheated. According to Ed, the possibility that she cheated because of what he came out publicly and said. Now, once she did her interview and talking about the divorce, that's when he came back and said about her cheating.
Yeah.
I don't think she mentioned that in her interview, that where he's saying that, did she say that in her interview that, he said that I've cheated or something like that. So now everything is just, all the dirt is out.
She alluded to it a little bit, said that they were kind of having troubles before he wanted to get a divorce, and really she gave him another chance, and the last chance.
Cheated. Yeah, she said
he cheated.
Right.
And so she said because of their child, that she did want to give it one more chance, give him another chance to see if they could work it out.
But I don't think we heard anything about that before this coming out about them getting a divorce, about him cheating. So obviously that happened, and she took him back, or she agreed to stay with him or whatever. Now everything out. Now supposedly he cheated, supposedly she cheated, everybody's cheating. And that's where we are with that now.
And it's interesting, I want to go back to the social media thing, because I think some people, now I am a person where if we have an issue, we need to discuss it between us and we'll work it out amongst ourselves. But some people, I think, put their business on social media so that other people can comment and weigh in, and so that they can see. So let's say if me and you got into it, I go ahead and put it on social media because I want people to weigh in to see, well, is Mocha right or is Diana right?
Okay.
So I think some people do it for that reason, which again, I'm not an advocate for. I believe, if it's between, unless that person puts their business out on social media too, and that's just what you all do, and that's a common agreement, that's different. But if it's between, you and one other person, I think it should just stay there.
Yeah.
So, but social media nowadays has been used for so much. Everything. I know, many people now don't even watch the news.
No,
they get all their news from Twitter. And I think those type of outlets are really good, and that they're being used well when it comes to news, informing people, or even just staying connected with old family and friends. But it is very interesting as far as what you see on your timeline. And what people choose to share. But again, for a lot of people, it's therapy. And so I know if that person, if it makes them feel better or is therapeutic, and they're going, they just want to put their thoughts, and they are not bashing anybody, just talking about themselves or what they're going through, or saying things more so in a positive way and not putting a negative light on anybody. I think that it can be good and very therapeutic for people to do.
Yes, I agree. Because I know some people, they won't even pick up the phone and call you. They just, well, did you see what I said on Facebook? And I'm like, no, I didn't see that. Well, go to Facebook. I'm like, well, I'm talking to you now. Just tell me what you said. No, just go to Facebook. I'm like, are you serious? I mean, I'm serious. Just, are you serious? Go to Facebook. They won't even tell you what they said.
Well, because they took the time out to write the whole story online.
Well, then you could take the same amount of time and you can tell me what you said.
They don't want to feel like that time is being wasted, Mocha.
I guess not.
So,
I guess not.
Just giving another perspective.
Yes.
But some people communicate better through words.
Okay.
So, and I can understand that too. Like I said, I'm the type where our business is our business, whether it's family or friends, keep it amongst ourselves, but just to play the other side of it. Some people are better with words. Some people can express themselves better through words. And also some people as well may feel like they will get upset and may act in a way that they don't want to act if they talk to you face to face, and so therefore they put it in words. But my advice would be you can still put it in words, but put it in an email to my email box instead of on social media.
Yeah. So let's hope, as we wrap up, that Keisha and Ed contact each other instead of going straight to social media to get this resolved, because now there's a third party involved, there's a daughter involved, and so we have to think about her. But stay tuned, we'll be back.
Welcome back to The New. I'm your co-host, Diana Dove.
And I'm your co-host, Mocha.
And so we are also want to give an update on Power, as we are now in episode 3, season 3, episode 3. So again, it's a lot that goes on in every episode. It's an hour long, no commercials. It really just feels like one long movie, which I really like. So I know one key thing that happened in this episode is Jamie's son got in trouble for bringing the gun, Angela's gun, that he found snooping around in her closet to school. And so they basically the school wants to expel him, but Tasha kind of negotiates in her Tasha way to keep him at the school, because she brings up some old information about other people who have done things that were bad as well, other students that have done things that were bad as well, and they weren't suspended either. And so when she brings that up to the administrator on the show, the administrator, she says, well, he can go ahead and stay.
She did up Tasha.
So, but one thing too that Jamie mentioned to Angela, so Angela was a little upset when she comes in and Jamie tells her that his son took the gun, found the gun, took the gun to school, and he got in trouble. And she says, well, why is he snooping around in my stuff? But I do think he made one good point and said that he's being a boy. He's a kid. That's what kids do. And so I think that Angela, this is a lesson for her in kind of prepping her to truly be like that stepmom for the kids.
Yeah, and I know kids really do snoop, because I know we found out Christmas toys every year. Snooping.
It was no surprise?
No, we had to pretend like we were surprised. But, when my mother would leave, honey, we were all in that closet. So, yeah, he's right. Children snoop, and especially boys. My brother was the lead in snooping around. Not to just put him under the bus, but, yeah, we kind of fought his lead, So,
But
yeah,
that's
true.
one of the reasons why parents do all their shopping
Exactly.
the night before or the
Exactly.
day before, because
Exactly.
so their kids wouldn't
Yes.
go ahead and snoop, and then their Christmas is spoiled.
Exactly. I'm sorry. Not that we're saying there's no Santa. I'm sorry. Not that we're saying that. We're just saying, hypothetically. But yeah, that was interesting. And Angela says to him after she asks, well, why was he snooping? She said, well, I guess snooping is hereditary.
So she got him back with
she
that.
got him with that.
She got him back with that comment.
I was like, touche, Angela, touche.
Yeah.
Because as we know, those of us who watch the show, that he is known for as soon as she leaves out that door, he just starts going through papers. He goes through everything, trying to find out what he can find out about the cases that she's working on, because a lot of her cases actually pertain to him. So he wants to find out what he wants to find out about her particular cases that have to do with him. So he does his own snooping. So yeah, so snooping does run in the family.
And that's actually in season 2. That's actually how he got the key to her place, or the reason or purpose why he wanted to get the key to her place. So he had told her, hey, I want to make you dinner. I want it to be ready when you get home. If you leave your key with me, I can go ahead and go in and make dinner, and it'll be all laid out for you when you come home from work. So she was like, sure, I would love that. And then that's when he started to snoop and got the images of Tommy that were printed up because they saw, or drew up because their basically their secret person saw him and was able to kind of finish the sketch, or start the sketch with the sketch artist on how Tommy looked, because he actually killed one of the secret people that they were working with to try to get Lobos, and then also to try to get Jamie and Tommy as well. So, but yeah, she definitely got him with that comment, because I said, oh yeah, he definitely, he was snooping around that apartment, and that was really the purpose. Granted, he does love Angela, but that was the purpose of him wanting to get the key, so that he can get all the information he could possible about the case, because he knew later on he may be able to use it, in which he did in season 2. Towards the end, he was able to basically give Tommy's lawyer, because Tommy was in jail, but give Tommy's lawyer all the evidence to show that Angela did not abide by the rules, and she was working with a minor without consent of the minor's parents.
Exactly.
And so therefore, just based off of her not abiding by the rules, they couldn't really trust any information that she provided about the case, and they let Tommy go.
Yeah. And we also know now that her former boyfriend, who is also
Greg Knox.
Oh yeah, and he's basically on suspension, right?
He's suspended.
He's basically on suspension
Because of her.
But he's still following them.
Yes.
Taking pictures. He's snooping in the cars and everything. Trying to get more information on ghosts. So he's still following them, and he's still watching them. And she, catches him at one point, snooping around, and she goes, you're still with this. I thought, we were over that. But, he let her know that your boyfriend, he's not out of the business like you think he is. He's still meeting up with Tommy, and he's doing this and he's doing that, which when her and Ghost get back together, she brings that up to him and asks him, well, are you still seeing Tommy?
And he told her the truth. He said, I did go to see Tommy, but he wasn't there. And he basically made it known that it wasn't about dealing drugs. It wasn't about that. It was about something totally different. So Greg is trying to play off of Angela's emotions. One, he knows that she basically threw him, Greg, under the bus, because he knows that she's with Ghost or Jamie, who worked or did work for Lobos. And so he really does know the truth, because he's been snooping around too and following her. But he's also playing off of Angela's emotions because since they're together, he's trying to tell Angela, yeah, you think he may have been out of the game, but he's not. And technically he is. Everybody who tries to pull him back in, he lets them know, no, I don't do that anymore. I go by James. I'm no longer Ghost. And so I think so far he has been pretty honest with Angela.
Yeah, he has been.
But I don't think Angela has been she's been pretty honest with him, but not about the information about Lobos, which at the same time, I know she cannot tell him or anybody about that information because of the work or industry that she's in and her position. But if Jamie needs to know that his life may be in danger, you know, you may want to bring that up because that's the person that you are trying to spend the rest of your life with. So
Exactly. I mean, and I think Greg, he has two motives. One, I think he still has feelings for Angela.
Yes.
So when he was actually watching them, when they were out jogging, you could see that look on his face. He's kind of like a little jealous. He's jealous, but he also wants to get information to get back on Angela for burning him.
Exactly.
And of course, he wants to get information to get rid of Ghost because he's pissed because Ghost has the woman that he originally wanted to be with. So he has several motives here for why he wants, to try to get as much information on both of them as possible because he wants to get him back, and he's still a little bit jealous. It's kinda like that
absolutely.
male thing, like a one man takes a woman from another man. So it's all of that going on. So it's like everybody on this show, they have ulterior motives for several different things. Several different things.
And remember, he wasn't the one that broke up with Angela. Angela broke up with him. So he definitely still wants to be with Angela because he didn't want them to be apart to begin with. And then also by him being an agent or working for the government and working on the case, he wants to see Jamie in jail along with Tommy. And they're not in jail.
And
so
he
I
wants
think
to get his job back also.
Exactly. So he has multiple motives. Like you said, he's jealous. He wants to see them in jail. And then he also wants his job back. And of course, if he can try to solve this case and put them in jail, he'll be more likely to get his job back.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. So he has to come up with something solid because all the things that he came up with originally did not work.
No,
it kind of
not
backfired
at all.
against him. So now he has to, watch his steps and all the information that he comes up with because he has to make sure that this can't backfire on him again. So everything that he has, it has to be concrete. It has to be legit. It doesn't have to be legal, I guess, because some of the things he's doing is illegal because, like I said, he's no longer officially with the force. He's on, I guess, leave or whatever. So some of the tactics that he's using may not be what the force will recommend him to go by to get this information. So he's just trying to tread lightly on all the information that he gets from now on to make sure that all this information sticks and he'll be able to redeem himself and get back on the force. And maybe if he get enough information against Ghost, he will probably be able to redeem himself with Angela as well. And he'll be like, I told you your man wasn't legit. That's why you should be with me.
Right. So, but he's using his old tactics and the tactics that got him suspended.
Right.
So I think he'll definitely play a key role in this season.
Yes.
But we will be right back, so stay tuned.
Thank you.
All right.
So what do you
Thanks for tuning in to The New. I'm your co-host, Diana Dove.
And I'm your co-host, Mocha.
And just to sort of wrap up episode 3, because, we have to get prepared for episode 4. But another key character in this episode was Tasha.
Yes.
And so before, Tommy didn't want to have anything to do with Tasha, of course, because he linked her with Ghost, right? Because they're married or were married. But now, with Holly's opinion and her voice, they want to bring Tasha in because, of course, Tommy is still running the drug business. But Tasha previously did all of their accounting work and set up the bank accounts and the legit businesses and things like that. And so now they want to bring Tasha back in so she can handle the same information and have the same role as far as the accounting. And she also started to set them up with another legit business because Jamie did the right thing by dissolving, since they closed the businesses that they had together, which were the laundromats. He went ahead and split the money up equally, which I thought that was very fair, without Tommy having to ask him for the money. So he went ahead and split that up. And then he also split up the part that Tommy had in the club. So I thought that was also fair too. And he asked Tasha to go ahead and give the check to Tommy because Tommy wasn't taking any of his calls. And so now they brought Tasha back into the business. And of course, Tasha did not want to be out of the business ever. Exactly. She liked that life. She liked the fast money. She liked the amount of money that Jamie was getting, and she did not want him to be out of that business at all. Exactly. And so she is very happy. She seems to be very happy that Tommy not only wants to bring her in as the accounting person, but also the person to set up their legit businesses. Exactly. So she is now back in the game, and it'll be very interesting to see where her role kind of goes in the next couple of episodes.
When she met up with her girlfriend Keisha, who's played by Lala Anthony, she noticed that she was not wearing her ring. So she asked her, well, where's your ring? I mean, come on, and you're that down that you have to get rid of some of your rings and your accessories and things like that, that you're that low on money, on funds, that you have to start getting rid of stuff. She said, well, basically not yet. But the way she answered, it was almost like, if things keep going on the way that they do,
she's preparing.
I'm preparing to start, pawning off things. Remember those handbags I gave you, like in season 1 and 2? You still have those? Maybe I need those back. I may have to get rid of those just to, for a little cash flow. So she's basically, saying that, things have changed now and that they don't have the money that they used to because he's no longer, in the life, and he's only doing the club business now. So now they're going to be using her salon as kind of a backdrop, the same way they use the laundromat as kind of a front for the company. So I guess they're going to give her a cut for actually using her salon, but they're really not going to tell her that much, which is good for her because she's not really a part of that, so they don't want to get her in trouble.
And what do they call it? Plausible denial?
Yes, plausible denial. So now they're going to be sort of in the hair business. And then that's, like I said, that's good also because if they don't tell her enough information, if they're ever busted or anything like that, she won't know anything, so she can't tell the police anything. And Keisha's like her girl, so if they're really true friends, she don't really want to get her girl involved in this. But they do need a legitimate business to use as their front, just like they did with the laundry business. So, right. I mean, the hair business is a perfect front.
And Keisha does not like Holly at all. And you can definitely tell in this episode because she knows that Holly stole Tasha's earrings straight from her closet.
She's definitely, you can't leave nothing
klepto. She is klepto.
She is definitely a thief.
She will steal it all.
Really.
The same way that she stole Tommy's check, and he didn't know it until she came back and said, I couldn't deposit the check because I'm not on the account, which is how they figured that they need Tasha to run basically the money or the accounting aspect of it, because Tasha was the one that set up Tommy's account to begin with. So it kind of all came full circle for Tasha.
Yeah, it did. And, even though Tasha's shady, but she's kind of a smooth shady, so to speak. I mean, seriously, if that's even a term, it is now. I'm pinning that. She's a smooth kind of shady. She does not want to go legit. but she's kind of like the girl that she's used to this lifestyle, but she's going to try to keep it kind of, as to make it look like she's still with the life and she's still in the life when they are definitely having a cash flow issue, but you'll never know that when you see her. That's because she's so smooth with it. And she's also smart. She's also a very smart
Oh
girl.
yeah, she is.
She's
is very smart.
So she's the perfect person to, for the legitimate business that they're trying to set up. She's the perfect person for that. And like I said, in our previous show, that Tommy is more of the muscle. He's not really more of the brain, because as we saw on this episode, he kind of, when he started snorting, he kind of lost it and beat this guy down, and so he needs someone else to be the brains, and he just stick with, being the brawn of the business.
And I was kind of shocked to see him using drugs. I mean, I know in the previous episodes I only saw him use drugs one other time, but I thought it was only like as a social setting. That was the only reason why he used drugs in a social setting. But this time he was using it by himself. So that made me think, he really is a drug user. And usually they say, people say, we don't do the drugs, we sell the drugs. So to kind of see him also using it was very interesting to me as well, and added a different dynamic to the show. But there was one other person that they introduced in this episode, and it was the lady who was basically looking for a bar to put in her hotel. And so the two gentlemen came into Truth, and they were in VIP having a great time, and Jamie came over just to welcome them as the owner and offered them a free bottle of champagne. And of course they took it, and then he invited them to his other club that he had. And he told them that a specific or very popular DJ will be there on a certain night. And so, not knowing that they were club owners of the club across the street from his second club, they went ahead and negotiated a better deal with the DJ so that the DJ, who's very popular, would go ahead and play at their club instead of at Jamie's second club, in which he was contracted. Well, he was supposed to be contracted, but he should have been playing at Jamie's club on that same night. And so Jamie did one better. Instead of getting back at them the street way, which his assistant wanted him to do, he went ahead and met them, got their information or where they would be located from their secretary, and interrupted basically the meeting that they were having with the lady who is opening the hotel that needs a bar in it, and basically just introduces himself, and she ends up contacting him and going to Truth, and they end up meeting. And that's when she lets him know that, the reason why I was meeting with those two gentlemen is because I'm interested in placing a bar in my hotel, or a club in my hotel. And so now she's basically looking at Jamie as a prospect to place a club, which would be a good opportunity for him, but to place his club now into her hotel. He's now in the running for it. So it'll be interesting to see what type of role she plays going forward, because she's a brand new character and kind of came out of the blue as well. So I wonder if she will kind of replace Stern in a sense, because Stern, he was an investor in clubs, and she kind of has that same type of role. So I know on the show she said that she is very interested in getting to know who James St. Patrick is. And so it will be, I'm looking forward to see what she uses and what she does to truly get to know him, and if she even finds out what he did previously.
Exactly. And also in this episode, I think this is the first time that we see Kanan, who at the final of last season, we see that he actually escapes the fire when he and Jamie get into a fight, and he sets the building on fire. And we assume that he dies in the fire, but as the fireman says that nobody broke into this building, they broke
Somebody
out.
broke out.
So it's kind of up in the air if he actually got out of the building or not. So as we see in this episode also, that Kanan actually escaped, and we can see the burns, all over
Ooh,
his
they
arms.
look bad,
they
too.
bad.
They look so bad.
They look bad. But they showed his chest, and we all know that 50 Cent has a nice chest. Even under all the prosthetics and all the fires, we still see those.
So that's what you were focused on. You weren't focused on the storyline. You were focused on the wrong part of the show.
Even through all that makeup, and everybody knows I love me some makeup and prosthetics, I can still see that six-pack in 50 Cent's stomach. I can still see it. But anyway, let me get back on track. So we see now that he is alive,
Yes.
and he's staying in D.C.
Yes,
at his
Washington,
cousin's
D.C.
house. And we also see a new character.
Yes.
Anika Noni Rose. I love me some Anika Noni.
She played in For Color Girls Only,
Yes.
Tyler
She was
Perry's
also
movie.
in Dreamgirls.
Yes.
I love me some Anika.
Yeah, she's a great actress.
She
She's
is.
a
She
really,
really
I mean,
is.
all of them on the
She
show
really
are
is.
really, really
She really
good.
is.
But her opening scene,
yeah.
oh my God, I just didn't know what to think.
Yes, I didn't, because you think that when the clerk says that I push the silent alarm,
Right.
you think that everybody.
She's gonna arrest
Exactly.
the two boys that were trying to
Exactly.
rob the convenience store.
Exactly.
But she tells the one boy who had the gun to shoot the guy, and then she shoots him.
Yes.
And then, of course, later on, we find out that it was all a setup.
Yeah.
That, well, we don't know who he is. It could be her nephew, her son, her cousin.
Yeah.
But she basically told him, you need to rob this convenience store with your friend so that you can pay for your education.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of when it came all full circle. But I just did not know what to think in that opening scene. Clearly, she's a crooked cop, but my mouth was
Yeah.
dropped all the way to the ground.
So when I see her get out of the police car, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's gonna walk in, and these guys are robbing this convenience store. They're gonna
Right.
shoot her.
They're going to shoot her. Right.
And then she ends up shooting them. So
Right.
I'm
They
like,
were working with her.
Yes.
Yes. So we
So-
do see a crooked cop out there, and she definitely adds another element to the show. She'll be a key role player, I think, in this season as
Yeah,
well. So her role is very, very interesting. She gave a little history about her and 50 Cent's character, Kanan. So I'm sure they'll go into more detail about their background together. But it was real interesting when they were at the table and they were talking about their backgrounds and how they knew each other and how they had known each other for so long. I mean, just a lot of information really came out. And it's funny that she knows Ghost, she knows who he is, and it seems like she knew him from since he was younger.
Exactly.
So, well, we will go ahead and wrap it up for today. Thank you all so much for tuning in to The New. We will see you next time.
And make sure you watch Power. Get some power in your life, and we'll be back.